Today on Uncut with Jeff, I'm with Sean Walton, guest. You flew all the way from Manchester just to see me, baby.
Just to see you.
I was like, wait, that's so nice of you.
My
You
number
flew.
one priority. Sure.
I was like, why else would you want to come to New York other than be here?
No idea.
I don't know either. Did you do the travel conference that was this week?
No, this weekend was Wrecked, NYC.
Oh. Did you get wrecked?
I did. Yeah, it was quite the party.
Okay.
Followed by Continental the next day. My friends just wanted to.
What is that?
Continental.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Body by Brooklyn in the bathhouse.
Bitch, you seem to know more about New York than I do. I don't even know what any of the... I've never even been to Wrecked.
Okay. Well, my friend seems to know this. So
Okay.
I just trusted him to book me a good weekend in New York. And a good weekend was had.
And I'm so proud of you for it. Is there actually a good bathhouse in Brooklyn?
I think the setup is like the person that organizes it rents that out for the specific event once per month. And the gays take over. I think, honestly, the best word to use is the gays go feral.
Okay, to be honest, I want an invite the next time. So you need to tell your friend to let me know when it happens so I can come back.
Find them on Instagram and grab a ticket while you can.
Oh, it's like
It's a ticketed event.
Okay, we're gonna bring this up after.
Okay.
Okay, my reason I invited Sean on is because I feel like you do something that was so similar to what I used to do. And, you know, I feel like we always connected. I feel like I've known you for 9 years, basically, just through the internet. And out of all these times that we've traveled or whatever, we've only crossed paths once.
Yep.
Do you remember where it was?
Of course I do.
Where were we?
We were naked on the gay beach in Mykonos. And, of course, at the time, you had the traveling bum. And I was like, I recognize that bum.
Yeah.
And went and said hello.
You came right over, dick swinging, and I was like, wait. I was like, I know you from the internet. But, like, you know when your perception of people so off because I always, like, just saw you from an Instagram post. And this is when... It was just posts, so there was no videos. I never even heard your voice. It was just very photogenic pictures that you would take of yourself. And I also didn't realize how short you were. I didn't realize your accent. Like, there was just so many things that happened all at once that I was like, oh, whoa. And then I'm also looking down at your dick. Yeah, I was like, okay, so this is a lot.
Yeah.
But that was such a good trip.
And then we had a little photo shoot.
We did have a photo shoot. But we did not hook up. I do remember that part.
No.
Well... Okay, let me jump in. So I'm gonna call this episode a gay travel guide because we both have been to so many places. Some places are fun, some places are not so accepting for gay people.
True.
So you are someone who usually travels solo or with a partner. So kind of what do you prefer? Do you prefer going with someone you know, or do you prefer to kind of like ride the wave solo?
Well, I would say this year has been the year of going solo.
Okay.
And it wasn't actually to the age of 35 that I went on my first solo trip.
Are you kidding me?
No, honestly, which...
You haven't gone on a trip without yourself?
Well, by myself.
Yeah, like for 35 years?
Yeah. For the first 35 years, it was always with friends or with a partner. So it felt like quite a big deal. But it was quite amazing in the sense that it was the most liberating experience. And it was really... unusual to just focus on what I wanted to do. And it might sound selfish, but not having to be considerate of another person and legitimately just do what I want to do.
Facts.
At every point in the day.
Whenever you want.
And I'm really into it now. I really enjoy it. And obviously it can be, I wouldn't say like too lonely sometimes because I feel like as a gay traveler, there is easy ways to connect with people.
Facts.
Like obviously with the apps and whatnot, depending on how you want to connect. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it, and I think there's a lot to be said for traveling solo if you've not done it yet.
I think something a lot of people don't realize is how much, I don't know, I don't want to use the term pressure, but how relieved you almost feel going somewhere alone because then you're like, wow, I need to just go sit at a bar and see who approaches me or go out and meet people or whatever. And you don't realize how safe you feel when you are with someone else because you would never do that.
Yeah.
Like when you're alone, you go out to eat alone. You put yourself out there, whether it's sitting at a bar by yourself. You go on these apps and you message people being like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, I'm not even looking for a hookup. Do you want to just go to a museum or explore? And even like being in New York, you know, it is like a place a lot of tourists come to. And so I get messages all the time, whether it's on Instagram or on dating apps, just saying like, hey, are you free on Wednesday? I want to go with someone to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I actually love those kind of messages so much more because you sometimes forget to be a tourist in your own city.
Yeah.
And it is nice that to have people be like, oh, it's, you know, horrible example, but like Bryant Park Christmas shops or something, you know?
Yeah.
My friends, if I asked them to go have lunch, they'd be like, what? Where? It's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think people think I'm taking the piss if I say you can use Grindr to actually hang out with people while you're traveling.
Yeah.
But I have done it. Obviously, of course, use it for hookups, whatever. But legit, I have used Grindr to just hang out with people.
For like legit friends.
Yeah, in a platonic way. Like, I want to go to the gay bars. There's other tourists that want to check out the gay bars. Let's do it together. We may or may not get together, but regardless, it's just nice to have someone to hang out with.
I totally hear you. And the other thing is I feel like sometimes like you can Google like gay bar NYC. And I hate to say it like this. Those are great, you know, happy hour places. Maybe you'll catch me on a Wednesday or something at one of those places.
Yeah.
But for the most part, those are places you go to for like a little drink or something. But that's not where local gay New Yorkers really go to hang out. So if you want to know what's going on that week or weekend, like you knew about Wrecked.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this bathhouse. Like you almost need an in somewhere to say, here's what people are actually doing this weekend, and it's probably a party ticket, or else you would just go with other tourists in a place and you just happen to be in New York.
Well, yeah, because like for Wreck, I was like, where the hell are we going? Like, we're off into this industrial estate.
Like deep in Brooklyn, probably.
Through a dark door with no signage at all. No posters, no signs, through a dark hallway. And then all of a sudden...
And you loved.
Yeah, it was unique, to say the least.
So you obviously... How many countries have you been to? Do you know?
I don't know. I think like maybe approaching 40, between 30 and 40.
I'm also between 30 and 40, but I don't have the exact list. Do you think you've had sex in every country you've been to?
I'd have to get a pad of paper out. I don't know about every country, but I can say with certainty every continent.
Okay.
Including Antarctica, which I know you're going to.
I'm going.
Soon. I went last year.
I'm going to unbox this with you after because I have a million questions, but I leave in like 3 days and I'm like not freaking out, but there's just a lot of things. Okay. So I will report back.
Don't freak out. It's going to be the most
I'm
amazing.
a seasick bitch.
Okay.
So I have every pill imaginable. And also like I'm kind of a psychopath that like I like to go to a destination and go explore and do things. So the fact of being stuck on a boat with I don't know, just nothing. I don't know what you do. I don't want to say nothing to do, but kind of what is there to do.
Okay, we'll unpack this later then. Because you go on
I
it.
found like
it's an adventure.
I already sound like I'm unraveling. Okay, so you're saying you have not had sex in every country you've been to, but
I don't think so, but every continent at least.
I try to have a hookup in every country, and I don't know why I feel like I want to do that, but I think it's like I don't know, something about just exploring
just in case you're ever on a podcast and someone asks you, you know, then you got an answer.
Yes. And I think there's something to be said. Every person is like a different kind of lover.
Okay.
And I like those different experiences.
Okay.
Like I learn new things.
Yeah. Fair.
Like not to say New York is like a basic place, but I would say most people I hook up with in New York are either extremely lovey-dovey or like very rough. And like more dominant, and I find that very interesting.
Okay, interesting dynamic change between people there.
What has your experience been with New York lovers?
New York, I've only been here for a few days.
Well, it sounds like you made your way.
Hey, I mean, I would say that there was a variety of people at Continental, and variety is the spice of life. But I do have a type, and they seem to be pretty consistent. So my type is typically like short, dark, hairy, tanned.
Okay.
If I'm in Spain, I'm very happy, basically.
You sound like me. I'll ask this question, and we don't need to, cause problems here. But, like, do you think you've tasted the rainbow, let's say?
I mean, how would you qualify for tasting the entire rainbow? My rainbow isn't bland. It's definitely got a lot of colours in it.
Yes.
Have I tasted the full rainbow? I don't know. Maybe I need to get a pad out again and check.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there's a lot of different, races and, you know, how people identify. So now there's different genders and things like that.
Course.
But I would say for the most part, I think I've dabbled across the board between, like, you know, Black guys, Asian guys, Spanish guys. Like, I've definitely dabbled. But I feel like the one thing I don't want to say I'm not attracted to, but the basic white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes does not do it for me.
Oh no, my personal preference. I'm attracted to dark features, beards. Typically, even if a guy doesn't have a beard, I find them less attractive.
Okay.
So
you like hair?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That was a definite.
I was like,
yeah.
let me just verify. I was like, you want the hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do appreciate that.
What if you hooked up with a guy and he was like super hairy, but then just like shaved everything down there? Would that make you mad?
It wouldn't make me mad. That's a bit aggressive.
Okay. Yeah, but sometimes you're like you have an expectation when you see someone, and then you're like, oh, why did you do that?
I'm just like imagining it in my head. I think that would just look very odd.
I've seen it.
Have you?
Yeah, like a guy has like a super hairy chest, but then for some reason just like shaves his balls like completely bald, and I'm like, why?
I think
did we do that?
Deal with it. If we've gotten to the stage where that's coming down, I'm probably pretty confident that I'm
literally
going to go through with this.
When there's a dick in your face, you just accept what's going to happen, basically.
If I'm sold already.
I mean, have you ever looked at one and said, actually, I don't want to do this, and you turned away?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like once it's there, you're kind of there.
Yeah, I think face and body preference first, important, and then we'll get to that.
No, I get that. I've always
Whereas
been
I know
someone
that some
who
people
cares.
go the opposite way. They care more about that, and the face and body isn't so important, and I can't get my head around that because I need to find the face and body attractive to even consider looking at that next.
I totally agree with you. I do have friends who are like literally size queens that they don't give a fuck about your body type, what your face looks like, what your age is, as long as you've got a fucking
I've seen
hammer.
I've seen it in real life.
all they care about. And I'm like, yo, that's wild.
But as long as they enjoy it, fill your boots.
That's true.
But
you can't yuck someone's yum.
Exactly.
That's where we'll go with that. Okay, so when you look back on, you know, all the places that we've traveled to, I can imagine we've both have been to very similar places. What, I don't know if I want to say country, I'm going to say city. What city do you think was giving like, this is a great place to like hoe around?
Could I give two answers?
Yeah.
I would say to hoe around, Barcelona immediately comes to mind.
Okay.
Because I don't know, the guys just do not stop there. They are go constantly.
They're persistent.
All day, everywhere. Yeah. Like if you go out on a Friday, you don't have to come back until Monday, but they all seem to do it every weekend. And if it's not at the sauna or the party or the club or the bar, then there's chills everywhere all over the city, or I think you call it afters here in America. They call it chills there, 24/7. So if that's what you're going on vacation for, that's a lot of an offer there. And then on the other kind of aspect, in terms of like big cruising clubs and parties, have you been to Lab in Berlin?
I've never been to Berlin actually at all.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny though is I feel like I never know a good time to go to Berlin because I feel like I'm a big, you know, Mykonos, south of France, you know, Italy. Like I like a beach. I want warm weather, and I'm not going to go to a city and be sweating my balls off in Berlin when I don't get that aspect.
Fair.
So I feel like I never know when I want to go to Berlin because also when I'm in New York and it's fucking freezing, I'm like, I don't want to go somewhere that's also cold.
No.
I'd rather go somewhere, like if I'm going to get on a plane, I'd rather go down south or South America or Colombia or something to get the heat.
Yeah,
as opposed to go somewhere cold.
And I guess for me, like Berlin's a 2-hour flight. Sometimes
that's it.
Sometimes for like 40 quid. So I can go there for the weekend if I want for very cheap. But if you do ever go, consider Pride in summer because it's hot. The city's full. It's one of the biggest prides in Europe, and it has got genuinely the most insane gay parties that I've ever been to. Like Lab, for example, on the Thursday of Pride, it's naked night there.
Okay.
And when I went for Pride, there were over 1,000 people in attendance at Lab, which is underneath Berghain. You've heard of Berghain, right?
Nope.
Berghain is like one of the most notorious clubs in the world that is known for like just not letting anybody in. but it's a really very queer, open, anything goes space.
Okay.
And underneath Berghain is Lab, which is a gay sex club.
So everyone's actually like, you check your clothes.
Yeah.
It's not even like we're hanging out in jock straps.
No.
It's you are butt ass naked,
Because
just walking around dick swinging.
Because it's Thursday, and that is their theme on Thursday.
So I'm assuming no phones.
Well,
Because where are you going to put your phone?
in the little thing on your leg.
Oh.
But obviously no recording. And
I would hope so.
People are respectful of that, to
I
be
would
fair.
hope so. I mean, like, do people take like mirror selfies or something in the bathroom being like, I'm here?
No.
Okay. So that's just a New York.
I don't think there's any mirrors in the bathroom from memory.
Okay.
But genuinely, if someone's looking for like the most insane experience in that respect, that is definitely a destination to check out. Berlin, Lab, Kit Kat Club. That's one to look up.
Okay. They just came up with something like that in New York.
Oh, really?
It's called Kit Kat Club Cabaret, I believe. But I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But when you said the name, I'm like, wait, I've seen posters of this, but I'm assuming that's not here.
We'll
so it must be a
We'll
spoof.
take a look at that later then.
Yeah, it must be a spoof off of whatever.
Maybe.
Wait, that's so funny.
Yeah. You
Okay,
need to go. You do.
I'll go. I will go. I love to travel. So like maybe this summer I'll just go for a weekend and see what happens.
Yeah.
And if the flight's only $40, you can meet me because why not?
Okay, we'll do a part 2. We'll do a follow-up to this.
A follow-up as to what happened at Lab.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
After, like, directly go from Lab straight to a podcast studio.
Like maybe let's do this wasted about what we just did and or saw.
Yeah. Sunglasses on.
I don't know if I could see that of you.
Yeah.
I see it was such
know.
I mean, you naked was obviously visually appealing, but yeah,
Is my brand that innocent?
Yeah, you gave more innocent maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I write things in a tactful way.
Yeah, like you write things not in a romantic way, but I feel like you romanticize destinations.
I can do that, yeah.
Like what do you think genuinely was the most like kind of, I don't want to say romantic place you've been to, but just kind of like a very sexy kind of destination?
I think, and I'm always going to think about this through like a gay travel lens, like somewhere that you can be romantic as like a gay couple or LGBT couple. Aruba comes to mind because it's a Dutch-owned island, so it has got influences that make it like safe for gay travelers. And as an island, it is just very beautiful. It feels very romantic. It's got, some of the best beaches in the Caribbean, if not the world. Yeah, so very like honeymoon-esque, safe for gay travelers and romantic and beautiful. That's definitely
Aruba.
a winner.
I honestly don't know if I've ever been to Aruba.
Okay.
Like I think once you've been to like some Caribbean islands, and no offense to anybody who lives in the Caribbean, but I just kind of feel like it's very copy paste.
Well, this is the interesting thing because in general, I'm trying to copy your pronunciation of the Caribbean. I was like, how do I say this now?
I was like, you don't have to take my accent.
No, I know,
it's okay.
but you're confusing me with the word. The Caribbean. How do you say it?
Caribbean.
Yeah, the Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
The Caribbean in general has a bad rep for gay travel because some of the laws, like Jamaica, for example, not so good. But then Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, the ABC Islands, are owned by the Netherlands.
Yes.
So they are safe. So
like I had a great time in Curacao. Like everybody was very...
Yeah, Curaçao's really a good one as well.
Party-wise, was only busy on the weekend, but they were great, and everybody wanted to like just kiss, and I thought that was very interesting and weird. How it was very like lovey-dovey, straight, gay, no one cared. Like everyone was just like kind of making out with each other like a big fucking cesspool, and I was like, this is interesting. And that was Curacao, so maybe I guess Aruba's the same fucking way.
Yeah, very similar, but Aruba I preferred. It has better beaches in my mind.
So then maybe Aruba will be the move. I kind of I'm going to pivot this for a second. I want to throw in a couple game questions that I did not warn you of. So these are top percentages of certain things from 2024. And you're going to see if you can guess which one has the highest percentage based on countries.
Right, okay.
So, number 1. Which country do you think has the highest percentage of twinks?
Out of? I'm getting options or not?
No, you're just gonna throw it out there. Like, out of all the places you've been, who do you think you're like, damn, there's a lot of fucking twinks here?
I'm going. My mind's going like Eastern Europe a bit.
Okay.
I feel like because there used to be a thing when I was young called Euro twinks. So that's why I'm thinking like Europe.
Euro twink.
Have you not heard of that?
No.
It's a real thing. Look at it. Yeah, I feel like I want to say Germany. I don't know why it's coming to mind, but yeah.
Okay, well, Germany's not even in the top 5. Number
Okay.
1 is Netherlands, and then Switzerland, and then Belgium.
I was in the right vicinity.
Yes.
The right vicinity. So
I can see this, though, because
yeah.
I when I think of a twink, I think of like a basic, like, white boy, blonde hair.
Yeah.
Almost like a Troye Sivan, and I feel like
Yeah.
that's what that...
And that is like sort of
That's what that
Switzerland,
gives.
German, Netherlands. Yeah.
So I guess if you're looking for a twink, that's where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out of all the countries,
Yeah.
which country do you think has the largest average dick
Colombia.
that is in the top 5?
Okay.
The first one is
Do I
Sudan.
get a point? Is where, sorry?
Sudan.
Sudan. Okay.
But their average was only 7.1 inches, which I thought was surprising. Because that means there's a lot of low numbers, but obviously the high numbers make up to bring it to 7.
Okay.
But I definitely figured that was going to be way larger. Like, I don't know why.
Who does this survey? Because no one's ever come up to survey me.
It was a company called Squirt.
Of course it was.
Do you know what that is?
I recognize the name.
Because I don't even know what that is, but I saw it and I was like, wait, I feel like this would be so interesting to like mark these down. And I was like, I'm going to use these one day. And
Okay.
today's the day.
Okay.
Okay. Which country has the highest percentage of verse people?
I'm trying to understand like my thought process behind why I would assume somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like because I want to say the UK.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so the answer is Finland, Austria, and Germany. Which, like,
Can't-
that means nothing to me because I
No.
guess I've never been.
I'm trying to think of a reason why, but
Well, Germany, I guess you make it seem like everyone's just fucking everyone there. So maybe that makes a little sense. You just have to be down.
they're progressive. They're forward for sure.
Have you been to Finland?
No, it's on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done like Sweden, and I've done Norway. So I've done 2 of the Nordics. Oh, I've done
Okay.
Iceland as well, 3 of them. So I need to do Finland.
It's on deck. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting one because this is kind of newer. But which country do you think has the highest percentage of sides? And if you don't know what a side is, that basically means you don't like penetrative sex and you kind of just do other things, whether that's you get off on jerking off with guys. I believe that means you can still suck dick, right? It just means you're not into penetration.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
All right, give me some country names. Who we thinking?
Sides. I feel like it's going to be somewhere very abstract. Denmark, since we go with Finland. It's a
Okay, so I
pattern.
thought this was interesting, and I don't know the correlation, but it's Singapore, Philippines, and Japan. So maybe it's like an Asian type of thing that they don't enjoy penetrative sex or something. I don't know.
I'm wondering, are they more conservative?
Maybe. Because I don't want to sound whatever, but I know a lot of Asian people in New York that love to bottom.
Okay.
And so I don't know if maybe that's just a religious thing over there, but
The date is interesting.
yeah. Okay, my last one before we get back to some questions, and I have others, but
Okay.
what do you think the most popular search term was on Pornhub in 2024?
I think I know this answer. I think I saw it shared on Instagram.
Dun dun.
I can't remember the pressure.
Dun dun.
I don't know. Was it something to do with twinks? Or was it Troye Sivan?
So actually the most popular term that was searched was demure, which I think is fucking weird. Like, why would you go on Pornhub and search demure? Technically it's demure desires, which I think is
Okay.
fucking weird. But the actual category was hung and the second one was trans.
Okay.
Interesting,
That's
right?
interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, hung, I guess, is kind of classic. Like, I feel like when you watch something, you want the big D. But
Okay.
I thought trans was interesting. Have you ever watched trans porn?
No, I've never
I
seen
have not either. Like, I feel like it sometimes pops up on my Twitter feed or something.
But I've not heard any friends talk about it either. So for it to be most popular, that's interesting.
Listen, there's a lot of straight men in the world who
Oh, yeah.
don't explore their sexuality, and then they just, I don't want to say go down the dark web, but they start looking things up out of curiosity, and
Okay.
maybe that's where it comes from. I don't know.
Interesting. feel like you do a whole thesis behind this.
I feel like there could be a million things. Because I would say, what do you think you search most? If you were like to watch a porn video, what do you search?
I was supposed to try and search for my type, so I'm just looking for like hairy, short.
So you're like hairy Spanish men, big dick.
Not so bothered about the big dick, but yeah.
Okay,
we'll go down that route.
That's fair. All right, so back to this. Have you ever gone to a country that you actually didn't feel safe in?
No, because I'm quite careful with like how I research things in advance. I have been in countries that I got attacked that I wasn't expecting to be attacked. There wasn't like an instance. I was quite drunk, so it was hard to remember properly.
Where were you?
Cyprus, Paphos.
Okay.
And somebody did attack us. I mean, I've had stuff thrown at me where I live in Manchester, like walking along the canal, and some like youths threw like stones and shouted
no way
gay slurs from the bridge. So yeah, even like Manchester is one of the most gay friendly cities in the UK. Don't get me wrong, but it's still inescapable. Like you still have to always think about your safety.
Yeah.
But I purposely haven't been anywhere where the level of danger is somewhere I would be uncomfortable with.
So you've never like been invited somewhere to kind of change the narrative of being like, we want to show that it's okay for gay people to come here, so we're inviting you. And then you went and you were like, oh, this is a little dicey.
No, I do my due diligence more than that.
That's fair.
But I am interested in working with destinations that legitimately are in that position. Like, for example, in December, I did some work with Tampa Bay and St. Pete. Very gay-friendly destination, but in Florida. And obviously, Florida doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to certain rights and laws that have been passed in the Don't Say Gay law. So a lot of UK people might look at Florida and be like, no. But actually, I think it's important not to forget about the Tampas and the St. Pete's that are making sure you are welcome and you are safe.
There's cities everywhere, right? I mean, there's always going to be a place that you're kind of safer than other places. You know, like if you go off the grid to like the Everglades in Florida, like they're going to be country as fuck and call you a faggot, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm probably shouldn't be here.
But don't write off an entire country and an entire state.
Correct.
Do your research and find the places that are going to look after you.
Yes. I would say I think my diciest was Johannesburg.
Okay.
Like I felt super unsafe.
Because you were gay or just felt unsafe?
I think I just felt unsafe, period. Yeah. But I did go to a place that was gay, and they had like bars, like jail cell looking bars over the bar.
Okay.
And so you had to like put your money through this like little slot, and then they would like open a thing like as if it was the post office. Yeah. And they would put your drink in there, and then you would open the glass, and then you could grab your drink. It was very interesting. Yeah. But I think it was more the tour operator we worked with kind of brought us to places that maybe as a basic white American I should not have gone. And so it felt very, don't wear anything nice. Like don't wear a necklace. Don't, I was like very mindful of like certain things. Yeah. And so that like threw me for a loop that I was like really excited to finally go off into the safari. Yeah. Because I was like, after that city for 2 days, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. It was too much.
Yeah. And I've been, and it has got a reputation, and that reputation did get into my head in Johannesburg, but not because I was gay. It just got into my head because it had a reputation for being dangerous. Yeah. Whereas down Cape Town felt totally
Cape Town's so safe.
Yeah, so safe. And all like along the garden route, perfect.
But Johannesburg, definitely go with someone because you should not be walking around the streets solo there. Yeah. What is the most anti-LGBTQ country in the world?
I don't know.
I actually don't know either.
There is still a lot of countries that have like the death penalty or they have jail time.
So yeah, I definitely don't think I would want to go to Russia. No. But I also know like Middle Eastern countries. Like I have friends who go to Dubai all the time and they love it. But I have some friends who said like they get messages on dating apps or something saying, hey, we're going on a boat. And they're like, that means don't go on the boat. Yeah. And I was like, why? And they said, because you'll get asked to go on a boat and they say, oh, we want you to, we'll be your sugar daddy, or they market these things. And you think everyone in Dubai has money, obviously. Yeah. And in reality, they put you on the boat and then you never come back. And they just toss you off and kill you because they catfish gay people.
Yep, I've heard them stories.
So that's fucking terrifying. So I would say, because that's a place gay people actually go to.
Yeah. There's a whole conversation to be had with that. Like, it feels icky.
Yeah.
when you've got money and you go to Dubai and you can be in a safe bubble in these hotels, but the local people can't be. So it feels a bit icky. Like, oh, I'm okay over here with my money from a different country and you're not. Like,
Facts.
500 meters away. Doesn't feel good.
How do you feel about like those places that I feel like I hate when would you say you're a circuit gay?
Accidentally, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's happened.
So I hate those kind of parties, to be honest. But I always hate when someone's like, oh my God, we just got back from Barcelona or something. And I'm like, oh, what'd you guys do? And they're like, oh man, we partied from Friday till Sunday and we went to this circuit party and we just did a shit ton of drugs. And I'm like, okay, so you didn't really like travel or see anything or do anything. You just flew there, got really fucked up, and you saw nothing. So I was like, does it really count as a destination? Or like, no shade to my sister. They like went to Jamaica. They stay at a resort and you're just swimming in a pool. You go to the ocean. You eat at restaurants that are in your resort.
Yeah.
But it's like, did you really go to that place?
I think you need to do more than just party in a place to experience
Yes.
it. Like, do both. Come on.
Yes.
At
Like,
least.
or like you have to be able to leave the resort or something, like it doesn't count that you swam in a pool or took a shit in a hotel in Jamaica and say, oh, I went to Jamaica. It's like you saw the glorified touristy version of what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I am guilty of, though, in that respect is when I do go on the Atlantis Gay Cruise, I don't really get off the ship, even though it goes to some quite nice destinations.
Oh, meaning like because they do the
they go
pit
to like
stops.
different Caribbean destinations.
Okay.
I get off the ship sometimes, but sometimes I just don't bother, even though like you're on a cruise. But
Is it because there's parties that are happening on the cruise?
I'm on the cruise for the parties. I'm not on the cruise for the destinations.
I get that. I mean, I guess for someone who's obviously well traveled like you are, it doesn't make sense as to why you would get off the boat.
But I don't think I would do like, I know that a lot of Americans do the flight to Europe for a circuit party and then they come back. I wouldn't like to do a long haul flight just for a party.
Yeah.
There'd have to be more to the trip for me.
I totally hear you.
For sure.
I couldn't agree more. I mean,
But
I
then
obviously love
you don't get much holiday.
going out. I know, I do feel bad.
Like 10 days in the US, is that normal?
I think 10 days is the standard. I think it's 10 days and then maybe like 5-6 days. So technically you get 15 or 14 days, which would equate to like 2 weeks. But yeah, like you don't get shit. Like you don't get anything here.
That's a big difference.
As someone who is European, what is your viewpoint on gay Americans, I guess?
So my experience of gay Americans actually has come from the Atlantis Gay Cruise. Really? 'Cause I went
Not the Atlantis Gay Cruise being here. Okay.
Really? Because like I went for the first time 6 years ago. I just found everyone so friendly, and it was interesting to me because then when I've gone back home, like there is a stereotype from like the UK, Europe towards American gays that you're all very loud and brash and a bit annoying.
Yeah.
That wasn't my experience. I was like, oh, I'd been on this cruise and I actually really enjoyed everyone's company. They were lovely to me. They're really friendly. And as a result, I've got lots of friends. Like I'm here in New York. The people I'm staying with are from the cruise. And the people that I'm seeing for lunch tomorrow are from the cruise as well. So I've got like friends
You've got your
everywhere.
pockets
Yeah,
now.
it's nice. It's cute. But yeah, I think there are some stereotypes that I've heard other people say, for sure.
I do think some things fit this stereotype to an extent.
Stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yes, I would have to agree. There's not really an American stereotype of Europeans, though.
I was about to ask that question to you.
Like, I was trying to think, because I was like, what? And I don't think there is one. Like, I don't think I
Like
look at...
what is a UK gay to you?
I mean, I will say, I do hear some people say that Manchester's kind of, like, trashy.
Okay.
So I have received that before.
We can say gritty. Like Manchester has got a reputation, maybe like 20 years ago for being rough, but it's had like a lot of development since then. But yeah, it used to be quite rough. It's still got rough pockets, and we'll go with the word gritty.
Is there like beef between London and Manchester?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, I prefer Manchester to London to live and to be, but London does have some better nights out.
So there's not like you're from Manchester and someone goes, ew.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I think I've heard that here from people.
Interesting.
So
no.
maybe people judge
typically,
Manchester.
The more north you go in the UK, the friendlier it is.
Okay.
So London's in the south, Manchester's in the north. We're getting more friendly.
You just get a little more social.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say my experience in London ever is like super great. Like I feel like the food's not really notable.
I don't know why you all glorify it so much. Like every time I speak to a American, like, oh, I want to go to London. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's kind of fun and yeah, it's got some iconic stuff, but you've got the whole of Europe and Spain and Italy and like all these beautiful places with sun rather than rain. But like, everyone's obsessed with London.
Yeah. I don't know, because even like the shopping, like I was there and of course like you find cute things, but I remember I really wanted, this is so basic, but like Birkenstocks.
Okay.
And they were so much more money there, but I wanted them right now because I wanted a specific outfit to wear.
Right. Okay.
And so I paid a ridiculous amount of money for them because it was the pound.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should have just waited till I got back to New York and they would have been like $100 less.
But you got to buy them there.
You want what you want when you want it.
Exactly.
And you can't help it.
Exactly.
Okay, wait, let me do 2 more of these, but then we have to call it quits, which is kind of sad. Okay, so I don't know if these are going to... Oh, we could do these ones. Okay. Here's 2 countries, and then I have 2 U.S. cities, so I don't know if you'll know these. But for countries, which 2 countries are in the top, tied for the top, known for swapping nudes?
I want to say Spain will be one of them.
Okay.
Because on Grindr there, they just chat, and don't necessarily actually see it through. So I can imagine there's a lot of just swapping of pictures and not getting anywhere.
You found it hard to meet up? Like people just want to talk and then they're all talk but don't actually follow through?
Compared to some other destinations, yeah. I've noticed that. Maybe that's just because there's like too many conversations on the go.
I kind of view that about America.
It's oversaturated.
Like the U.S. Like I feel like a lot of people in the U.S. are very talkative and I'm like, are we meeting? Like I'm not looking for a new best friend. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me because maybe they like knew me from the internet, but I'm like, I'm not here for a conversation. Like, do you want to come over? Do you want to whatever? But I'm like, what are we doing here?
There's a balance. So I'll say Spain is one. Swapping photos. I'll say the US then.
US is number 1, along with Finland and Australia.
Oh, back to Finland. What was Finland before?
They were something, and I want to say it's something to do with like twinks or something.
Or was it the verse country?
The answer's on the floor, so so you can't reference and
so
go back and look it up.
So you've got a lot of verse people in Finland swapping photos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knew? Do you want to guess what countries do not swap nudes? Like really low percentages.
I'm trying to think of this with like some sort of logic to it.
After I saw it, I could see the logic, to be honest. So there is kind of logic, I think.
Would China? Because like they've got like restrictions on social media.
Shockingly, no.
Okay.
Or maybe they're just not even on the list. I don't know. But it's India and Italy.
Italy?
Mm-hmm.
That surprises me.
I thought maybe just due to like religious type of things, but yeah.
I feel like Italy, they're quite, like the stereotype is they're quite sexual and quite fiery and all that kind of stuff. So, but not with photos.
Apparently with photos.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they're like they don't want to give them away. All right, my last one for you is in the U.S. Which city do you think has the most bottoms?
I don't know many U.S. cities.
This is a main city, though.
A main city.
Yeah.
Chicago, then.
Boston.
Okay.
Which, interesting, considering like Boston, every bar closes at like 1 a.m.
Oh, really?
It's not a late night place.
Okay.
Not known for going out. So I don't know if you would enjoy her. Which city do you think has the most tops?
I'll say New York since I'm here.
Just from your own experiences. It's actually Dallas.
Okay.
Which I've also never been to.
I'd like to go to Dallas. That's on my list.
Because of this now?
Not because of that, no.
Okay. I was like, let me just verify the reasons why. Okay, well, I hate to say this is all we have, but this is all we've got.
Been fun.
Where can they find you on the internet?
On the internet, it's the Globetrotter Guys on Instagram, on TikTok, on my website.
You just own the fucking name.
Yeah, own the name, and it's all just gay travel content. So,
or a beach in Mykonos in the summer on a rock.
Exactly.
With dick swinging.
That's the way to do it.
Okay. That's where I found her. Looking for hairy Spanish men, and she found Jeff, who doesn't have hair.
Okay, that is my brand then. we've redefined my brand.
right. Well, thanks for coming on. And you guys can tune in next week for another episode of Uncut with Jeff.
Thanks for having me.